Hello and welcome. I'm Thomas Porteous and you are watching Hollywood Calling. From celebrity scoops to film and music buzz, here's your quick look at what's making headlines in entertainment this week. Netflix's Adolescence dominates the 77th Emmy Awards with 6 wins, including Outstanding Limited Series, while Severance scores 2 acting awards. Young actor Owen Cooper makes history as the youngest male winner at just 15 years old. US President Donald Trump celebrates Jimmy Kimmel's suspension. He calls the host untalented and defends Charlie Kirk. Trump suggests broadcasters lose licenses for critical coverage amid growing debate over free speech and political pressure in US media. Taylor Swift gets pulled into Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni's harassment lawsuit. Baldoni's team claims she agrees to deposition after October the 20th, but Swift's lawyers deny this, saying she will testify only if the court orders. The trial is set for March 2026. Actor Henry Cavill injures himself during training for the highly anticipated Highlander reboot, leading to a production delay, pushing the film's shoot to 2026. The star, who is playing the immortal warrior Mekliod, now focuses on recovery amid fan concerns. Okay, our top story this week. The 77th Annual Emmy Awards were all about first-timers. Hosted for the first time by comedian Nate Barsgate at LA's Peacock Theatre, the night saw fresh faces and long-overlooked stars finally took the spotlight. Tramwell Tillsman made history as the first black man to win supporting actor in a drama, while 15-year-old Owen Cooper stunned with a win for Netflix's Adolescence, his very first acting job. Apple's The Studio rivaled Severance in nominations, with Seth Rogen earning his first Emmy as a lead actor in a comedy and helping the show break records with 13 wins. Max's The Pit ultimately claimed the best drama, with veteran Catherine Lanesa taking her first Emmy. Even Stephen Colbert's soon-to-end Late Show finally scored a trophy. Despite awkward bits like Jennifer Coolidge's ramble and a cringy donation stunt wins, a Gilmore Girls reunion and Seth Rogen's big night made the 2025 Emmys unforgettable. We're now joined by Madhurima Mitra. She is an entertainment writer. Thank you very much for joining us here on the programme. My first question to you is, how did 15-year-old Owen Cooper managed to win an Emmy from his very first role in Adolescence? What can you tell us about this?
I think what really made Owen's performance stand out was how he totally nailed the role, where he wasn't just the hero but a part of the problem. I don't think I've ever seen in the mainstream media someone address the topic of toxic masculinity the way adolescents did. And when we see such young child actors start off, they're either playing black or white roles, but his role was really complex. And you don't see it creep up on you when it really does in the 3rd episode, and you're just like, what just happened, in like the most insane way possible. And that one scene take was amazing. You see so many nuanced actors spend their entire careers not going that way, but he did it as his first acting job, and people take years of experience to pull something like that off, and he did it with such an ease, so it was no wonder that he was the youngest Emmy winner in that category.
Yes, do stay with us. We have some further news, huge news this week. Hollywood mourns the passing of legendary actor and director Robert Redford at 89. Known for classics like Butch Cassidy and Ordinary People, Redford founded the Sundance Institute and was a passionate environmentalist, leaving a powerful legacy in film and culture. Let's have a look at this report.
Robert Redford,
seen here in his iconic role as the Sundance Kid alongside Paul Newman in 1969, became a household name with his rugged charm and boyish grin. His performance in All the President's Men captured the spirit of American journalism during the Watergate era, showcasing his ability to merge star power with substance. As a director, Redford made his mark with Ordinary People in 1980, which won 4 Academy Awards, including Best Director and Best Picture. Through the Sundance Institute and Festival, he gave rise to a generation of filmmakers, including Quentin Tarantino, Ryan Coogler, and Chloe Zhao. His filmography spanned more than 5 decades, ranging from westerns and thrillers to introspective dramas, making him one of Hollywood's most versatile stars. Meanwhile, at the Hollywood premiere of The Strangers Chapter 2, casts, crew and guests paid tribute to Robert Redford, remembering him as a cinema legend whose contributions continue to inspire generations of filmmakers.
He was a maestro at what he did, and even more so as a human being. If you really look at the sum of a life of Robert Redford, he set out, he achieved, and he gave back, and he spread his vision everywhere. So it's a big loss.
US President Donald Trump has paid tribute to Robert Redford, calling him one of the greatest stars of his era. In Los Angeles, fans mourned the loss of Robert Redford, remembering him through his iconic roles in films like Butch Cassidy and The Sundance Kid and The Horse Whisperer, which left a lasting mark on generations of moviegoers.
And I just liked his movies, but Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid was the best, I think.
I remember that it was very beautiful man, and I remember the movie that worked with Demi Moore. I don't know the name of the movie, but it was very good movie.
In his final years, Redford was celebrated not just as a movie star, but as a cultural force who shaped cinema, inspired environmental action, and elevated independent film. Bureau Report, NewsX World. We stay in the world of entertainment, of course, where pop star Taylor Swift finds herself entangled in the high-profile harassment case between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. Baldoni's legal team claims Swift agrees to a deposition after October the 20th, citing her album release on October the 3rd. However, Swift's attorney denies any agreement, stating she'll only testify if ordered by the court. Her link, a licensed song in It Ends With Us, the film at the centre of the dispute. Lively's team accuses Baldoni's side of using Swift's name as a media ploy, with the trial set for March 2026. Tensions rise as discovery deadlines loom. We are once again joined by Madhurima Mitra to discuss this further. What role does Taylor Swift's song in It Ends With Us play in this Lively-Baldoni harassment case? And what more can you tell us about this harassment case in general? Madhurima, are you there? Okay. I believe we are having some technical issues there. Just bear with us. We hopefully get some audio issues sorted out. Okay, we are moving on. We stay in the United States for our next story, where US President Donald Trump has celebrated the suspension of late-night host Jimmy Kimmel. Trump called Kimmel untalented and defended Charlie Kirk. He even suggested broadcasters should lose their licenses for negative coverage. The decision to yank Jimmy Kimmel Live came after the comedian mocked Trump and his allies over the murder of right-wing activist Charlie Kirk. Let's in fact listen in to the US president.
A lot of people, anybody could replace him. The guy had no talent. Kimmel look, he was fired, he had no talent. He's a whack job, but he had no talent, and more importantly than talent, he had no, because a lot of people have no talent, they get ratings. But he had no ratings. His ratings were worse than Colbert, I think. They got rid of Colbert, which was a good thing to do. And look, that's something that should be talked about for licensing too. When you have a network and you have evening shows, and all they do is hit Trump. That's all.
Now, America is reacting to the suspension of Jimmy Kimmel's talk show. Jon Stewart has returned to The Daily Show early with a satirical take on what television might look like under President Donald Trump's media control. The set turned gold, and Stewart played a host too afraid to speak freely. The segment was sharp, cynical, and deliberately less funny than usual, making a point about censorship and double standards. Let's in fact listen in to The Daily Show.
This swirling around, are the naysayers and the critics right? Is Donald Trump stifling free speech?
Of course not, John. Americans are free to express any opinion we want. To suggest otherwise is laughable. Ha ha ha. We are a nation of diverse perspectives, and we are not afraid to be different.
Ronnie, what's up with your tie? You're gonna get us in trouble.
No, look, this is the only red tie I have. Okay, it's fine.
It's not red. It's pink.
It's not pink. It's at least salmon. All right. That's a shade of red.
It's not red enough. It's gotta be mugger red.
Can you calm down? God, is this your first dictator? Listen.
Fans of Jimmy Kimmel have criticised the decision, and protesters rallied outside Kimmel's Hollywood studio, demanding his return. Let's take a listen in to what some of the protesters had to say.
We are actively seeing the First Amendment, our freedom of speech, being stripped of us, and not just the general public. Those rich, white, famous men like Colbert and Kimmel, who have a gigantic platform and still are being deplatformed. The freedom of speech is our American constitutional right of freedom of speech is being taken from everyone. People at the top and people at the bottom. And we need to stand up to it. Stand up to Trump. Stand up to the violation of the Constitution everywhere we see it.
It's illegitimate. It's fascist suppression of speech. This is a dictator move. You have the FCC who's saying that we could do this the easy way, we could do this the hard way. This is a fascist takeover of America, and the only way we're going to stop it is through the power of the people. November 5th in Washington, D.C. Be there.
Okay, we are now joined by David K. Johnson. He's an American author and professor of criminal justice, journalism, law and political science at Rochester Institute of Technology. And he joins us live from New York in the United States. Thank you very much, David, for joining us here on this topic. The US president has also said today that he has suggested that some TV networks should have their licenses taken away. He has said maybe to this in his usual Trump fashion. Of course, a characteristic of a dictator is a suppression of free speech. Of course, Charlie Kirk and America as a whole, it's the First Amendment. What are your thoughts on Jimmy Kimmel being removed from his post, like he has done, over the comments that he did make over Charlie Kirk?
Well, I've reported going back many years Donald's statements that it should be against the law to write or say anything about him unless he approves. Now, in the last presidential campaign a year ago, Trump said, we're going to end the suppression of speech by the tyrannical Biden administration. There will be free speech in my administration. And as you're seeing now, no, he is a dictator. As I've been saying for the last 7 months, Donald has declared himself dictator. You will not say that which I don't approve of. And the attacks on the TV stations threatening their licenses, I assure you, will be very powerful. I am the only journalist in history in America who caused a broadcast chain to have to shut down and go out of business because they had corrupt, dishonest news reports. So this is a subject I know very well. This action by Trump has sparked a huge public opposition. Even people who like Trump and probably have never watched Kimmel have been quoted all over the US in the last 36 or so hours saying this is not right, this is not what to do. And the three largest owners of television stations, we used to limit to 7 stations, now there's no limit, are all doing exactly what Trump wants because they need the approval of the Federal Communications Commission for business deals if they're going to go ahead with deals already in the works. So what you're seeing is the use of the White House by Donald Trump to impose his will, to suppress things he doesn't like. And finally, Donald has no capacity to laugh at himself. He and I had talked about this very subject in the late 1980s. He cannot laugh about himself. And so other presidents, Lyndon Baines Johnson famously, yeah, the people on TV make fun of you. You know, it's part of the job of being president. Donald cannot stand that. He is such a petty, hollow, empty vessel of a man that he simply cannot deal with people making fun of him, as Barack Obama did in 2011, on the very night that he had decided to wait one day before going after Osama bin Laden. And President Obama, that night at what's called the White House Correspondents' Dinner, was where he's roasted by the journalists. He turned around and roasted the journalists, and Trump was in the room, and he said, you know, I'm so glad I don't have to carry the heavy and the weighty decisions of Donald Trump, like, should I fire the singer Meatloaf on Celebrity Apprentice? And everyone in the room is laughing except Donald Trump, who is stone-faced, and one of the reasons he hates Obama so much is that he was made fun of because he has no capacity to deal with that.
Yes, David K. Johnston, thank you very much for explaining that. Great insight there. We now move on to our next story, where actor Tom Holland has opened up about his journey to sobriety, celebrating over 3 years alcohol-free, from personal struggles to launching a non-alcoholic beer brand. The Spider-Man star reflects on life changes, support systems and lessons learned on and off screen. Let's have a look at the full report. Tom Holland, celebrating nearly 3.5 years of sobriety, recently shared details about his ongoing journey to stay alcohol-free. The actor opened up about the transformation he has experienced since quitting drinking. In an interview, Holland reflected on the amazing feeling of being sober, describing it as a brand new identity. He also spoke proudly of his non-alcoholic beer company, Beero, emphasizing the continuous growth and innovation the brand is experiencing. Holland had previously admitted to struggling with over-drinking, a habit he had said stayed with him for years. He recalled how Friday nights often involved drinking excessively, which would ruin the following day for him. The actor also shared the advice his lawyer gave him, which helped him to maintain his sobriety. You will never wake up in the morning after a night out and wish you had a drink. This simple but impactful perspective helped Holland break the cycle. In another interview, Holland described a moment that became an eye-opener for him. After a night out, he asked his younger brother to drive him home so he could drink and enjoy the party. However, his family and friends began to notice his behaviour. They started to challenge him, asking if he is sure, which eventually helped Holland confront his drinking habits. Holland also revealed that his early struggles with sobriety took place on the set of The Crowded Room in May 2022. Despite the challenges, he chose not to go to rehab, instead leaning on his close-knit support system. The actor credited his family, friends and colleagues for helping him stay sober. He said that having people around him who cared made all the difference during difficult moments. Currently, Holland is focused on filming his upcoming project, Spider-Man Brand New Day, the fourth movie in the Spider-Man franchise. The film is set for release on July the 31st, 2026. Bureau Report, NewsX World. Now we're joined by Shrobana Rakshit. She is an entertainment journalist. Thank you very much for joining us here on the programme. It's a pleasure to have you on. Now, how has Tom Holland's sobriety transformation impacted his personal life and also, of course, his very successful career?
So, thank you for having me here. And I feel when a popular actor like Tom Holland makes such a decision and he comes out in the media and openly talks about it, it spreads a message. We have seen innumerable movies that surrounds around alcoholism and about drinking, but how much do people get from that? That how difficult it is, and the youth, which is youth, and especially we as people have been um, dealing with this for such a long time, dealing with all kinds of um, coming up with alcoholism or smoking or say drugs. And when an actor as such with immense popularity comes up and says that he is someone who has taken this step and it is making a massive change in his life and his career, spreads a message that can influence a lot of people into making a similar decision. And of course, it helps. We know so many people out there, so many actors out there who have gone through the same uh, phenomena, who have been uh, addicted to drugs, who have suffered from alcohol abuse, and then they have openly come out and said, shared their story. And that story makes a difference in each person's life. It can make you a better person, and it is really important for us to gain something out of it. And yeah.
Thank you very much. Do stay with us. We have more news from the entertainment world. Cardi B has announced she is expecting her 4th child. In an interview, she confirmed the baby is due before her upcoming arena tour in early 2026. This will be her first child with NFL star Stefan Diggs, who she began dating earlier this year. Cardi calls her current romance sparkling and describes herself as a hopeless romantic. She shared details about her dating life, parenting 3 children, and her passion for football. Meanwhile, Cardi B says her previous divorce won't stop her from marrying again. The rapper filed for divorce from Offset in 2024. Offset has spoken on moving on, calling their separation peaceful in his latest album. We're now once again joined by Shrabana Rakshit to discuss this. How is Cardi B balancing her pregnancy with her upcoming arena tour that is set for next year?
I would first like to say that it's very unfortunate that the whole balancing of parenthood and your career is a question often asked to women. Men don't really, we know so many male actors, celebrities out there who become fathers, and this particular question of balancing their careers with a with parenthood is never really associated with them, because we apparently expect men to go about with it in a very peaceful manner. It is a stigma that women, especially celebrities, face this, because we it's a fundamental issue where we believe that when a woman becomes a mother, it is always a choice between her pregnancy, her motherhood, her family, and the career. Whereas I feel Cardi B has always been a diva, and not just Cardi B, we have seen Shakira, we have seen Rihanna, we have seen Gigi Hadid, successful women who have embraced motherhood and who have also proven that being a mom and having an ambitious, successful career can go hand in hand. And I think Cardi B is doing exactly the same. The fact that in 2025, we are going to approach 2026 and we are still asking women the same thing, I think it's not even a question anymore. Women are doing great balancing both of it.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much. We stay in the entertainment world once again, where actor Henry Cavill gets injured while training for his role in the upcoming Highlander reboot, forcing a delay in the film's production. Cavill, set to play the legendary immortal warrior MacLeod, was deep in pre-production when the injury occurred. The Chad Chelitsky directed film was scheduled to begin shooting later this year, but now moves to 2026. Cavill's intense training was part of the film's demanding action sequences. As he recovers, fans await updates on his condition, with Cavill leading a cast that includes Russell Crowe and Dave Bautista. The reboot remains one of 2026's most anticipated releases. Okay, we move on once again. Lily Collins made a glamorous return to New York Fashion Week, attending the Calvin Klein Spring 2026 show after years away. The Emily in Paris star, who is the face of the brand's new campaign, turned heads in a shimmering white co-ord set inspired by the label's iconic 90s minimalism. Speaking about the show, Collins called it a full-circle moment, remembering her early days watching runway events. She praised designer Veronica Leone's debut, describing the collection as both chic and comfortable. Now we move on once again. Justin Bieber is opening up about the values that guide his family life with wife Hailey and their one-year-old son Jack Blues Bieber. In a social media post, the 31-year-old singer shared a family covenant listing 10 principles, including rest as worship, sustainable living, health, innovation, generosity and gratitude. He stressed that they value human dignity and see life as a gift. The post comes amid persistent rumours about strain in their marriage, but the couple, who recently celebrated 7 years of wedded life, have repeatedly insisted they're focused on each other, their family, and blocking out the outside noise. Dakota and Elle Fanning are proving sibling success doesn't have to be mean competition. In a new Vanity Fair cover story, 31-year-old Dakota says she has never felt competitive with her younger sister, calling them very different despite their shared Hollywood journeys. Elle, who is 27, agreed to this, saying they gave each other their own space to grow independently but now feel fulfilled merging their paths. The sisters, who both started acting as children, are teaming up for the first time on screen in the World War II drama The Nightingale, set for release in 2027. They will star and produce together. Well, that is a wrap on Hollywood Calling for this week. Your weekly dose of stars, style and stories returns soon. Thank you.